There's a place I can get to where I'm safe.
Hey vinyl lovers, what's going on? It's LJ and I'm back to shoot an update video. Kind of clue you in on some of the things that I've picked up lately. Like I said before in my last video, I have so much that I've picked up lately. Trying my best to kind of separate it off and share it with everybody, give your thoughts and feedback on it. Always love to read that. First off, what I've been listening to today, pretty well all day, is a newer copy of the Allman Brothers Eat a Peach. Absolutely love this LP, and my copy up to this point has been one that needed to be replaced. The only crummy thing is, mine was the gatefold cover, so you open it up, had the great artwork inside, if you're familiar with it. I'd show it to you, but I already put it in the extras box. The vinyl was okay, it wasn't great. This one is not the gatefold, so it's a later Polydor pressing, but it just sounds so nice. And I guess that's what it's about at the end of the day. So, I still have the other, but off to the box it goes. Continuing to embrace my country rock vibe that I'm on lately. Charlie Daniels band, Fire on the Mountain. Just what I thought this was just a fantastic outright jam rock record. It really soared. I absolutely loved it. It's probably about as country as I get in terms of sound, but I really loved it. And again, just finding my whole way back into that 70s country rock, Poco, Charlie Daniels, Allman Brothers, I've always been into kind of thing, and it's so great. Ozark Mountain Devils, I'm really loving it. So I got a copy of the Charlie Daniels band Night Rider. This is a follow-up to Fire on the Mountain. A few lineup changes here. Every bit is good. Again, just a real jam rock, country rock record. Absolutely loved it. If you're any kind of fan of any of the bands that I just mentioned and you're not familiar with this, owe it to yourself to check it out. It's stunning. I've overlooked it for far too long. It's really opened some new doors. I'm so happy. Neil Young's debut LP. I had a pretty crappy copy of this as well before, and I just listened to this with a new set of ears for the first time over the weekend a couple of times, and so fantastic. Neil can really do no wrong for me to begin with, but just such a quiet sound of the times. I really loved it. What a great album. Some interesting research too if you do pick this up and research it while you're listening to it. Of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, as much as I love Neil Young, I have to admit I kind of tend to swear my allegiance to Stephen Stills. And while it would seem that there is nothing super stunning about Stephen Stills' debut album, it really is. You have appearances from Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton on this record. I believe the record itself is dedicated to Jimi Hendrix, coming out in 1970. I've really looked long, hard, high, and wide for a really nice copy of this. It's quite common. You can hear Stephen in the background if you listen with his band Manassas. So this was really just a great find for me. Love it. And the one that you can hear in the background is Manassas or Manassas, depending how you want to pronounce it. But this is nothing short of it is, you know, Steve's band, jam band, if you will. You have members from the Byrds in this. Divided up into to 4 different sections. The Raven, I don't remember the others off the top of my head, but each side of each record having a different theme or a different sound. The Raven, The Wilderness, Country Rock, Consider, and Rock and Roll Is Here to Stay. This is just a sonic masterpiece. I absolutely loved it. I've probably listened to this whole thing 2 or 3 times today. Johnny's Garden is playing in the background. It's just stunning. I have their follow-up LP as well, and I know within the last couple of years they released an album of unreleased cuts, I think it was. It's just stunning. I'd urge anyone to check this out. I'm going to shift gears on you a little bit. Finally picked up a great copy of The Firm, Jimmy Page's band with Paul Rodgers from Bad Company. Mid-80s. It's not bad. It's not stunning. I wasn't overwhelmed, but I wasn't underwhelmed. And the follow-up, Mean Business. I'm happy to have them both, and I'm sure I'll get into them. I think my head just isn't there right now. I'm in a bit of a different groove. Keeping the Southern Rock thing alive, Blackfoot Strikes. I have Blackfoot's Marauder as well. I have to admit, I think Strikes is a bit of a better LP. Just Lynyrd Skynyrd-ish Southern rock, but in every bit on par. Highway Song off Strikes is their equivalent, I think, to a Free Bird, just a long, drawn-out Southern rock jam. No intention of picking this up, but it was the price was right. Fine Young Cannibals, The Raw and the Cooked. You know, I think in terms of 80s sound, this is one of the albums from the 80s that really got it right. Lots of different sounds. What I like about this LP is there's a lot of different throwbacks and influences to soul and R&B of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, brought up to date with an 80s style production. And it's kind of similar maybe to like a John Legend. John Legend has been real good at doing that, and Joss Stone in terms of recent things, just so I'm not saying all recent music sucks. It really threw back to that, and I liked it for that. For Maniacs, this one really, really blew me away. The cover's not in that great shape. The LP itself is fantastic. The vinyl's great. Bird Maniacs, I put this on and it wasn't what I was expecting. It was just a great sound of the era. Late 60s, early 70s. What a tremendous album. And doing research on it, it only got my wheels turning even more because it has that Let It Be production story behind it. The Beatles' Let It Be. Whereas the band laid down their tracks, stepped out, their producer took certain civil liberties with the album and turned it into something it wasn't meant to be. But from my ears, the first time I've heard it, it is what it is, and I love it. As I understand, a reissue has been done with one of the songs returned to its normal form, kind of like a Let It Be Naked, but right or wrong, whether they're happy with it or not, what a stunning LP. Love it. Two for the Jackson Browne fans, Running on Empty, such a common record, but as far as Jackson Browne goes, coming off Saturate Before Using and Pretender? Was that before or after this? I can't remember. But super accessible, very easy to listen to, and all about life on the road. All of these, it's so cool, recorded in different places, and they're listed here. So Running on Empty, recorded live on stage. Cocaine, recorded in room 124 at the Holiday Inn. Just the stuff you could do, the shit you could get away with back then, and committed to vinyl. Such a cool LP. Great 70s Jackson Browne. And I found Jackson Browne's Lawyers in Love. Not as impressed, but it's from a different period. This was right on the heels of his song Somebody's Baby from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, whatever. Which is a great song. I think this really tried to capitalize on that sound and that production. That's a great song, Somebody's Baby, but this just didn't do it for me in terms of the LP. I'll probably hang on to it just because I'm a ridiculous completist. But a little underwhelmed. Steely Dan's Royal Scam. Definitely one that I was happy to have and to pick up, and I didn't already have. I think I tried to think about how to talk about this, and I would say that as far as Steely Dan records go and Steely Dan albums go with Asia and so forth, this one would be their most venomous. It still has that great, crisp, clean, tight Steely Dan sound, so well produced, but just mean. It's got a venomous undercurrent running through it, which doesn't mean it's songs that, you know, curse or swear and they're mean, but there's something evil there about this record, and I guess that's pretty well echoed in the cover art if you think about it, you know, with the tops of the buildings there. Another fantastic Steely Dan album. The last couple I picked up, of course, I'm ever the fan of synthpop, new wave, and new romantic, ABC's Alphabet City. This is heading towards the mid-80s for Martin Fry and Alphabet and ABC and company. When Smokey Sings was the big hit here. They've come a long way from the Lexicon of Love in their early 80s new romantic new wave, but still one that I didn't have. Again, I'm a completist, but this one I picked up because I really do like it. So, definitely recommended for synth pop fans, 80s fans. And last but not least, who hasn't seen Mark Harmon's movie Summer School? Summer School is one of those 80s soundtracks, man, that I just don't think ever saw the light of day on CD. And there's some really, really cool stuff on here. You know, Danny Elfman, outside of Oingo Boingo, contributing a track. Happy. E.G. Daly's track, Mind Over Matter, the voiceover talent that she is just awesome. My Babe by the Fabulous Thunderbirds. As far as 80s soundtracks go, they tend to be pretty well known for having a couple of really cool tracks on them, and they're just damn hard to get elsewhere. And a lot of 80s soundtracks, again, just weren't pressed to CD. licensing issues and whatnot, and the songs weren't contained on that artist's solo releases. So again, just killer, cool stuff. I don't see it often, so when I saw it, I snapped it. And that's it. That's the update. I'll probably shoot another video within the next day or two, or maybe even just tonight. Throw it online later, just to keep everybody up to date. I have been catching up on everybody's videos. Lots of killer, cool stuff recently. Yeah, the trifecta amusement of Derek, Teddy, and Jeff all showing up for Halloween was awesome, fantastic. So much cool stuff going on. But everybody, thanks for watching. I don't want to make this any longer than I need to. Leave your comments. I'm always happy to hear from everybody. Thanks to everybody that's been subscribing. It's always great, you know, to sign in and see, hey, you got a new subscriber, somebody interested in checking out what you're doing. That's just awesome. So for the new guys, welcome. New gals, welcome. And everybody take care. Talk to everyone soon. Ciao.